Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by and taking a moment out of your busy schedule. I hope you're well, and I hope you're having a super day. Today we're going to do a lentil stew with some smoked sausage. This is another southern German dish that starts off with some 2 to 3 slices of bacon that has been slivered and fried. You can see that the saute pan I used has some crusty bits in the bottom. Well, that's the pan I used to cook the bacon in, so I'm putting everything back in. I'm also adding a half a cup of chopped onions. In this particular case, I used some frozen onions that I found in the freezer. They are perfect for making super stew. They also make frozen peppers, and I recently found frozen roasted vegetables. I have yet to do something with those, but I'll let you know when that happens. So after I saute the bacon and the onion, I'm going to throw in a tablespoon of flour, and we need to cook that out a bit so that it doesn't taste grainy. I'm using a 12-ounce can of lentils. Firstly, I'm going to pour out the juice that's in the can into the pan and start making the sauce that goes along with this stew. Since it already tastes of lentils, there's no sense throwing it out, right? Once you've got the lentil juice in the pan, stir that around so that it doesn't get stuck into big globs of flour. I'm adding the can of lentils with whatever remaining juice is in the can. I'll stir that around. You don't want anything to stick on the bottom of the saute pan. Of course, since this is a German dish, we're going to add the obligatory 2 to 3 drops of Maggi. It makes a real difference in the taste, so I really suggest you try to find some. I'm adding about a cup of water. This will help make the sauce that goes with this stew. It's absolutely delicious. You could use stock if you want, but there already is enough flavor with the onions and bacon. I'm adding 3 to 4 diced potatoes. I don't know if you guys know this, but the whole class of food called legumes, which includes lentils, peas, beans, chickpeas, all those kind of things, are not complete proteins. They seem to be lacking some of the amino acids that are required to build a chain of protein. So someone in their infinite wisdom one day decided to add a carbohydrate, which was potato or rice or pasta, and the amino acids from those carbohydrates join together with the amino acids from the legumes, and they make a complete protein. So there's your biochemistry lesson for today. Lentils or any kind of legume are super powerhouses of protein when added with carbohydrates. I added a bit of salt and pepper, and this needs to stew for about 20 minutes so the potatoes get soft. I'm adding some smoked beef sausage. Traditionally, this would be German veal wieners, but I didn't have any, and I couldn't find any at any of the stores I shopped at this past week. So I may do with something else. Kielbasa would be good with this. Just about any kind of sausage. You can actually not use any sausage at all. If you want to do this vegetarian style, don't use any bacon and don't use any sausage, and you will still have a delicious stew. So I served up a bowl for you with a sausage. So come and sit down and chat with me and have some lunch. I've made a place just for you. So I'm doing a bonus recipe today in the Instant Pot, and it's oxtail soup. I know you all just love oxtail. I do. I can't get enough of it sometimes. So I'm using 2 or 3 pounds of oxtail that's been trimmed of most of the fat. You can see the butcher did a pretty good job here. There's not much left, even though this particular cut of meat is still kind of fatty. Adding some salt and pepper. I'm adding some more of those frozen onions, using them up. So I've got a cup of chopped onion here. I'm also adding a 10-ounce can of diced tomatoes. For some reason, tomato and oxtail make a delicious soup. No chemistry lesson here, sorry. I'm adding a cup of beef broth. This is 30% less salt. The beef broth with red wine would also be really good here. You can just use water if you like. It's up to you. The oxtail will make its own sauce. Close the Instant Pot and cook this for about 40 to 50 minutes. We want the oxtail to kind of start falling apart because this is soup, and we don't want people fighting with a bone. I'm going to add one sliced carrot. And 3 or 4 potatoes that have been quartered. We'll get those veggies under the stock, and we're going to close up the Instant Pot, and on high pressure we're going to go for another 10 to 15 minutes. You're going to have to check to make sure that the potatoes and carrots are getting soft. So again, I'm inviting you for a nice bowl of oxtail soup. Come join me, let's have some lunch, let's chat. So, here's the question. What do you do with leftovers? Well, I came across this just by accident and I thought I'd share it with you because you probably, like me, always have some leftovers kicking around in the fridge. So I'm using my rice pot here, and I put in 1 cup of rice. You can use any rice. I tend to use kind of short grain rice because I like it a bit stickier than the white basmati rice that's very separate. I'm adding 2 cups of chicken stock. And I'm throwing in some leftover rotisserie chicken. I've got a leg here and a wing. I'm not adding any salt at this point because the coating on the rotisserie chicken tends to be a bit salty, so I'm just erring on the side of caution. And here I've got 1 bunch of red Swiss chard that I've chopped up and rinsed, and I'm adding about 2 cups to the rice cooker, because you know that 2 cups of spinach or 2 cups of chard ends up not being a lot. So I flipped the rice pot on, and in about 20 minutes or so I'm gonna have dinner. Look at that. I've got some flavorful chicken rice with red Swiss chard and a chicken leg. Come join me for dinner for more food that warms your soul. See you next time.